Hey guys, welcome to the Precision Air YouTube channel. This is just going to be a brief intro to the channel. This is just where we're going to kind of showcase a little bit of what we do with some of our builds. We do a lot of designated marksman's rifle DMR builds, and also some sniper builds, and even get into a little bit of a different category that's not as common right now in airsoft, but still is there's still quite a community out there and demand for it, I would assume. And that's the ELR airsoft sniping that's out there. So this would be a category of extreme long range is what it's short for. And for that, we're designing. It's basically still just a regular sniper, but now we're gonna go all out basically in terms of making it as accurate and also reaching the tops of the power limits that our customers demand, so that you can basically get out as far as you possibly can with these things. It's all kind of extreme build design. And basically we just wanted to kind of showcase a little bit of the results that we got before we go into depth about any more of the builds or anything. But we're just going to showcase kind of three of the builds that we have here. We have two ELR rifles, ELR sniper bolt action rifles, and we also have one designated marksman's rifle. And this particular one's an electric one, tuned right at around, the electric one is tuned right to 2.3 joules on 0.40 gram BBs. So that would be equivalent to about 500 FPS on 0.2s. And the snipers are both on heavy BBs, are at around, I believe, somewhere around like 3.2 to 3.4 joules, somewhere around the 600 or so FPS mark for a sniper equivalent power on a 0.2. But the snipers will still come in because of the joule creep factor that we could discuss in a later video, but is also talked about pretty much quite a bit on YouTube and other places on the forums and things like that in Airsoft. Those are rifles that if you put the lighter BBs in them, the 0.2s, they'll only register, though, as 500 FPS or under. So they're still completely field legal at a 2.3 joule field if they only chrono with 0.02 gram BBs, because they will come in, both of these rifles will come in under 500 FPS, just like the DMR that we have here. So first, we're going to show a couple of the groups of the DMRs. Before I get into the groups, I just want to explain something briefly. The way we measure the groups, so we do these are just 5-shot groups. They're not, obviously this isn't like perfect data that we have here with 5-shot groups, but in Airsoft, at least from what I've seen, it's been plenty to kind of get a general baseline of what the gun's capable of, at least. And generally, you'll see these groups are quite a bit above, average for what, or not even just above average, but above what even most people seem to think these things are capable of with upgrading and stuff. Because, some of the stuff we do, we really focus on accuracy as being like kind of the number one thing here, and that's kind of plays into the name too, I guess, of our business, Precision Air. So the work we do, it's mainly focused, like I said, on snipers, ELR snipers, and on DMRs. So needless to say, that's what the focus is on. But we also do some other builds too, SPRs, things like that, and really just any accurizing to airsoft guns out there. A lot of different tech work we can do, mainly on AEGs and spring snipers, and also we do work on pistols. There's a lot our company can handle right now. But, we'll have obviously a link to the website in the description. And also, I guess without further ado, we can get into it. So what you have on the table in front of you, basically, as you're hearing me talk about all this, is at the bottom below here, we have a couple, just two of the groups that we shot with a DMR on. These are all groups that are not... I wouldn't really call these cherry-picked groups either. These are groups just that were shot outdoors at 50 yards on days where the wind was low enough to do testing. And by low enough to do testing, I mean about under like 3 miles an hour or so. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So with the DMR, and we'll show all the guns after just real quick so you can get kind of an overview of what did what. But at the bottom here on this piece of paper, we have... with two other groups that we shot. This was at 50 yards, and the first 5 shots, so we have And before I explain this, we do when we measure the group sizes, we'll usually exclude the fifth shot or one out of the five shots as a flyer because we noticed that even with snipers and DMRs, things like this, there's usually going to be a flyer in your groups pretty consistently. So there'll be four that are tight together and one that's a bit off. It's not off by a drastic amount. It shouldn't be more than a couple inches or so outside of the main group. But it is still, there. So it's still worth mentioning. So we still include it and still mention it, but we don't include it in the overall group size just because, if you've played Airsoft for a while, you'll probably notice that basically no matter how well you tune your platform, you're always going to get some flyers. So we're kind of going off of what we would consider like 80% of the group to be, or 80 to 90% of the group, and that's about in this case 4 out of 5 shots at least. If we were to do larger strings of shots like a 10-shot group, then we would want at least 8 to 9 out of 10 of the shots to fall within the smaller group and only 1 to 2 flyers. And this is pretty indicative of what that would be. So this would be at least 80% of your shots would land in these the smaller groups and stuff, because flyers are just kind of a part in Airsoft. They're just a real thing. It's not kind of, it's a little different than with real guns and stuff. So if you have any experience with this, you'll probably know. So that's kind of how we classify the groups. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we have this group right here is about, you can see based off my hand, and this marker here is just a standard size Sharpie. This is about a roughly 3-inch group. So we have one, this is an overlap from a different shot because I cut these out of different groups and stuff. But this was on a day where it was probably about 2-3 mile an hour wind, and we have one, right, actually, maybe a little easier to show you this one. So we have 1 shot here, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4 shots here, and then we have 1 flyer down here. So our main group, though, our main 4 out of 5 shots, is at 50 yards, 3 inches, which is, for an electric gun, is actually pretty incredible. I was very happy with this. But I wanted to see if this was repeatable. So shot another group. So we have that right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one's actually, I don't know how well it shows on the camera. This one's actually a bit smaller. This one overall is probably just a hair, maybe like 2.6, something like that, 2.5, 2.6 inches, so 2.5 inches, and then there's 1 flyer outside here. And like I said, these flyers are usually within like anywhere from an electric gun, I noticed, like this, up to like about 3 to 4 inches outside of the main group, like that, or sometimes only like this one might only be like 3 inches, that one might be like 4. I mean, they're both around 3, I don't know. But the flyers are within an acceptable range for me because at least, you got these 4 in a very nice tight groups there, and it was repeatable. So we tested it in 2 different spots to make sure it could really hold a decent group, and it sure did. So that was with the electric gun. You can kind of see, if I bring this a little closer to the camera here, kind of the size too. These are really tight groups for 50 yards. And that flyer isn't even that bad. It's maybe about, even in that group, within 4 inches or so from the center. And this one, probably within it's probably about the center. But like I said, don't include that one. It's this one, this one, this one, this one, and that's the flyer. But that's only about 3 inches or so from the main group. So not really that bad flyers either. So pretty happy with that, especially for an electric gun. It's pretty incredible. And later on, we'll kind of get into how we did this, because we did go pretty crazy with a lot of these in terms of doing this accuracy stuff. This is more than just fully upgrading your gun. We've also done some crazy modifications, and I can't say a lot about it and a lot about it yet, I should say, but we're going to be trying to come out with a few inventions and products that we're going to sell that should really help you boost your precision with kind of in a lot of ways that you might not you'd be kind of surprised at how these things work too. That's really all I can say about it for now. But I figured just now we kind of showcase what this can do. And this wasn't even with this one, we didn't even go that particularly crazy on. But now we can kind of get to and show kind of what like some of the more accurate stuff we have here could do. And that's this is our groups this is actually my least accurate ELR sniper, but you can see here we have this one group, which is about 3 inches, which really, particularly compared to the other sniper we're about to showcase, is not that great, but this has undergone some tuning, so it's gotten better than that. And then this one's about 2 3/4, so pretty close to the first, but tighter. And then that one flyer out here, and you'll notice sometimes with these snipers, the flyer's closer. Like it's, with the DMR, it's like sometimes 3-4 inches off. This one's like only probably about, I'd say about 3.5 inches off. But you'll see with some of these other ones when we get to up here with the other sniper how much closer the flyers generally are. So that's that. And then also here, this one's kind of a unique one because this one was shot outdoors, but this is actually, it is the 5 shots, so we do have the 4-shot group here and only a 2-inch circle with 1 flyer. That's very close, and that's an incredible group. But this is on a side note because there were 2 other shots in here, so I don't really technically count this one because there were 2 other shots where the wind picked up pretty bad, or maybe I know the wind was picking up, so that's probably what pulled the other 2 shots. It might have not been me, but it also might have been me when I was shooting too. But there were really 7 shots, so that's why I wrote 5 out of 7 shots here, because there were actually 2 more that were either off the paper or were excluded for some reason. This was shot a while ago, so I can't exactly, say everything about that. But, but it did show at least kind of what the capability was if either I didn't screw up or the wind didn't pull those other 2. But it showed good progress. So even with that, we were still getting under 3-inch groups for the sniper. But that wasn't the best we could do. That was just with one particular ELR sniper. And now in its full form, it actually should be down to like 2-inch groups probably. So for the 4 out of 5 shots, with 1 shot being outside by a couple inches. But here's where we really get into the interesting stuff. So and like I said, these aren't, I wouldn't really call these cherry-picked groups either. These are not cherry-picked groups. These were some of the best groups that I've actually shot and that I've seen in a while. And we'll start with this one right here. And this is out of a Silverback SRS sniper. The flyer was kind of severe for a sniper, we'll see, compared to the other 2. But we have 4 shots right in here, and like about, that's under 2.5 inches. If you see, compared to like the Sharpie center to center, that's like under 2.5 inches. Really good group. I don't know why the flyer was so severe. Might have just been the hot butt, because you can see it's kind of low. Usually that's pretty rare though, compared to the other 2 groups. Usually the flyer's a lot closer. So here we have a 2-inch group, even better. And you can see up here, it's a, this is a pretty small group, about 2 inches center to center at the widest point for the 4 shots, and then 1 flyer. And you can see the flyer in this is only like a couple inches from the center. That's it. Really not that bad, like a lot closer. And that's kind of the difference I noticed with the snipers versus the electric guns and stuff, is a less severe type of flyer and a tighter 4-shot group. So, and then our final one, which I really am the most excited to get to here, is this one right here. And this is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall, and I think the widest point is maybe like 1.7 inches, but very close to around 1.5 inches. And this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shots here, and the flyer was only outside here. And you can see how incredibly small this group is. I mean, this thing is tiny. And this was at 50 yards, so this is 150 feet away. And this is outdoors too, mind you. There's still some wind. You're never going to get away from the wind completely. This is not an indoor shooting test. So to produce results like this, though, what we kind of had to do to get these rifles to this point was we had to really go pretty nuts with how we built these things. So like I said, it requires fully upgrading everything to the best we can, tuning everything to the best we can to make it perform well. But it's something we can build for people if they want guns this accurate. So if you want a bolt action sniper this accurate, yes, it is. We can't promise results like this every time, obviously. But if we build them really well, and also with some of the inventions we're coming out with, we have shown over, a few platforms here some, really incredible and repeatable results. I mean, that's 3 different groups, all from the same gun. And these are all still outdoors. If these were done indoors, these would be a lot more consistent, probably even tighter. I wouldn't be surprised if this get below 1.5 inches. So kind of nuts. Now, briefly before we end the video, I just kind of want to show you what these things look like real quick. So, the one that shot these three, the best one, here, we're just gonna pause it for a second. Okay, so we're back to cut real quick, but this is the particular sniper. This is a Silverback SRS. This is actually a sport model, so don't let, at least in my experience, don't let anybody fool you, say you have to get the full-priced one, because if you're going to build it up completely anyway, $400 versus like $650 where I live, this can still do incredible stuff. And like I said, I can't stress that enough, these were still outdoors. And this is at 50 yards, so I mean, this isn't like really close range or anything either. Granted, we are using, high quality 0.48 gram BBs. We're even weight sorting these down to like a few milligrams sometimes to really hone in the accuracy with a lot of these, but not all of them. Actually, I think only the best group right there was with weight sorted ammo. I believe these two weren't even. So still really incredible, even if you don't weight sort your ammo. That's just if you really want to squeeze every little bit and go crazy. Now hold up 1 second. I'm just gonna get another one out real quick. So 1 second. Okay, guys. So now we're back with this final one right here. So this is our final ELR sniper, and then we'll show you the DMR real quick. And these were some of the groups that did. So this was like our, I don't, like I said, this one wasn't an official one for me because it's got to be a complete 5-shot string, and the fact that there were 2 that were out of the string means, I don't really count this, but it is a good idea to kind of show what this is capable of, because you still see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and even though there were 2 that the wind took and I might have pulled as well, it does still show what it was capable of. And also, since then, this has been upgraded since all of these groups here are shot. So now this is sitting probably around the 2-inch groups. I just got to test it to make sure it is doing that. But as you saw with the other sniper, we can get even better than that, depending on the platform and all the upgrades we're doing. But this has been heavily modified and stuff too. That's why it still shoots under 3-inch groups and down to even like 2 inches. Like I said, it can get, even though that one's not that official. And there's like this one, the 2 3/4, and then the flyer. So, and then also this one, which is around like 3 inches or so. And now we're gonna just cut real quick and show you the DMR. Alrighty, guys, and here's the final one. This is just our electric gun. You'll notice this is pretty compact because it's a bullpup. So, which means the magazine goes back here and runs linked to the barrel. In this case, though, the barrel's shortened to, I think, about here, the inner barrel, because of what we call appropriate cylinder to barrel volume ratio, which seems to be pretty important for accuracy as well. At least most people would agree with that, I would say. And then once again, kind of look at the groups, and for an electric gun, that's pretty incredible. So we got one that's down to like, right there, it's like 2.5 inches, and then the flyer, and then this one's about like 3 inches, and then it's flyer. Amazing part about this, though, is like I said, this is semi-automatic, so this is designated marksman's rifle, whereas the other ones are bolt action, and we can still get it that good, which is pretty amazing. We're also working on more of these, and we'll be taking orders soon for pretty much anything you want accurized, anything you want built really accurate, we can do it. And we just thought we'd give you a little introduction to our channel and kind of this approach we take to airsoft teching and to building airsoft guns for like maximum accuracy and stuff, and maybe a bit more accurate, at least a lot of the builds I've personally done, to kind of test some of my inventions and modifications that I came up with to see if it's really possible to push these things further. And as you guys can see, even outdoors, these things can repeatably do under the 3-inch groups if you're excluding that 5th shot. And the one gun, even down to like 1.5 inches, and even if you included the flyer, it was still under 3 inches for all 5 shots with the best group that you saw. And like I said, that's even outdoors. So, so if you guys are interested and you want to see more content like this, or you're just trying to kind of decide what kind of build is right for you, or if you need a DMR built, or you're interested, like I said, you can just follow the links in the description, and we'd be more than happy to help you out with the build. We try to stay pretty affordable for our rates and stuff for any customers to within the US. You can ship to us, And yeah, like I said, we'd be more than happy to help you out, and would love to kind of see, what kind of plan you need, what kind of parts and stuff, and try to help you just build the most accurate, accurate airsoft rifle you can, if that's what your main goal is, and you really want that, just absolute precision and stuff, no compromises there. We'd be more than willing to help you out. So yeah, just feel free to follow any of those links in the description, and welcome to the channel, guys. Have a great day.